So, good afternoon, all of you. My topic is detecting security vulnerabilities in web application. Now, these days, we all are using web application and mobile applications, especially in this particular situation. Okay, so there are some weakness or flaws in the databases, operating system, and application, which may be exploited by attacker to launch the serious attack onto this web application. So in this talk, we will discuss what are generally the attack, what is threat, what are the common weakness in the web application, how these weakness or vulnerabilities or flaws may be exploited by attacker, and how to mitigate or prevent these attacks by handling these vulnerabilities. So we are also having the IACA project, which is called the Information Security and Education Awareness Project, okay, in which we have developed so many security applications, and I will try to demonstrate some of them. So two terminologies are very common in security. One is threat, another one is attack. So both are generally the constant danger to the assets, and threat may be intentionally or unintentionally, where attack is most of the time is intentionally, that harm the system. Due to some limitations or some technology limitation, we are not able to execute certain tasks. Say, example, we are not getting the proper bandwidth, and we are not able to run a particular, say, web services. That is called the threat. But attack is always be deliberately attempt to the system. So these are the some application security basic concept. So application security is the process of developing, adding, and testing security features within the application to prevent security vulnerabilities against a particular threat, such as an authorized access and the modification of the particular resources. So various type of vulnerabilities are there, weakness are there. Say example, choosing the poor password is one of the vulnerabilities. SQL injection is the vulnerabilities. Cross-site scripting is vulnerabilities. DNS farming is one of the vulnerabilities. So various vulnerabilities are available, weakness are available. Remote code execution is vulnerability. Say example, now these days, we are using the smart grids, and which are dependent on the software. We are using smart electricity meter, which are dependent on to the particular software. But what happens if these software are manipulated by their weakness and harm the system? Like remote code execution, an attacker from the remote location execute the certain code and shut down the server of a smart grid. So that particular normal working of this particular application will affect. So many vulnerabilities are there which are recently found. In 2019, Facebook has one of the weakness that the iPhone cameras are on, and that's also we have the zero-day bugs. Zero-day bugs means even the particular manufacturer OEM is not aware that the particular product what they release are suffer from the certain vulnerabilities. Okay, so now I will show you the some of the particular vulnerabilities into the applications. Okay, so in our laboratories we have developed so many codes are there, and we will see some of the vulnerabilities. That is called the code vulnerabilities. What happened in the code vulnerabilities, you will find out. We will discuss some of the vulnerabilities and their countermeasure also. So some of the vulnerabilities are, one of the vulnerabilities are called the SQL injections. Okay. So now we will discuss some of the attacks and their weakness and their vulnerabilities. One is called the SQL injection attack. What actually the SQL injection attack? It is a very interesting attack. How it will be executed? I will give you the one basic idea how this attack will execute, and then I will demonstrate this attack. So say example, we are here, and that is a normal way of writing the SQL. So example, we have put it ID equal to 200. So say example, this is ID equal to this one. All the students who are studying in the final year or pre-final year know the database concept. We write the queries and get the information. Very simple example, say we have here select star from employee where employee number equal to ID. So once this query is filed, it will gather the information and we will get the information, and here the ID equal to 200. So the record number 200 is fetched. So most of the programmer write this way to fetching the data from this databases. Here the 200 number will be displayed. So the record with the ID number, employee number is 200 will be fetched. How this particular string is attacked by this? So here, this is a simple way through which the record is fetched. But what the attacker does, he will manipulate it and put some information like this information, 17 or 1 equal to 1. So this is a tricky string, or that is called the SQL injection, which are injected. So this is the vulnerabilities that may be occurred in your database logic. So what happened if this will be put it, then this query become (17) or 1 equal to 1. And now we test. This is a tricky way. We know that 17 number is not in our database, but 1 equal to 1 is true. And this is concatenated with OR condition. If one of the condition of OR is true, so if this is true, this is false. And if one condition of OR condition is true, that will make your whole statement true. We know that 17 is not there, but 1 equal to 1 is always be true. That will make your whole statement true, and entire information are fetched from your database. Say example, you are entering the PNR number and getting your birth position. Some application, you are entering your login and password and getting the information. You are entering your roll number and other credential detail and getting the information. But what happens if the attacker will put this tricky string that will fetch your all the record from your system? So that is a simple example of one of the vulnerabilities that is called the programming code vulnerabilities. So this is not the problem of your technology. This is a poor way of writing the logic. So now I will execute it. So here we have developed various attacks in our laboratories. So you will find out here I am putting the 200. That is the normal scenario. And we will get the information about the employee number 200. So this is the normal scenario. We will get the information that 200 number is here and we are getting the information. But what the attacker does, he will put here 17 or 1 equal to 1. So this is the vulnerable string. This is the simple unsafe code. So 1 equal to 1 is true. That will make your whole statement true. Although 17 values is not available into your database. So that is the main logic behind this. So we will enter it and we will get all the data are fetched, although we have simply the 5 records. So these records are fetched. So that is a simple way of programming vulnerabilities, one of the simple vulnerabilities in your application. So this experiment is executed. So just to show you what is the meaning of my today's lecture. So we will discuss these type of weakness in your system and how these weakness are occurred, what are the steps are followed, what are the reason behind this weakness. These are called the vulnerabilities and how to solve this. So this is the simple weakness, which is vulnerability. That is called there is a poor way of writing the code. So various vulnerabilities or weakness in the application security that will affect your normal working of your system. So various vulnerabilities are there which are publicly available. So there is one website which are handling these vulnerabilities, and this is called, say example, here you will write the Indian Cert. So Indian Cert is a website which are managed by one of the consortium of Cert of Indian Cert, and that will give you the latest vulnerabilities. So latest weakness in the software and their products are available here. So say example, these are the vulnerabilities like in the network product. This is a multiple vulnerabilities in Google Chrome. This is new, and this is vulnerabilities are very recently on September 14 it was noticed. Here other vulnerabilities which are noticed on multiple vulnerabilities in the Microsoft product. So various softwares are there and they are suffer from the vulnerabilities or the weakness. And then they install the patch. Say example, Microsoft window code library, codec library is suffer from remote code execution. Remote code execution means I am here and I will try to execute some link and that will reflect and code will be executed onto the some target server. So we will discuss one by one. So this is a simple way of by which we are able to find and work it that these are weaknesses. So weaknesses are publicly available. So what happened? Sometimes functionality become the vulnerabilities. More functionality are added and that will become the weakness or vulnerabilities onto your system. So example, some more advanced features are added and due to some programming mistake, the more features are added and that will create the problem. So for that, the particular, if this is zero-day vulnerabilities, means owner is not aware. If somebody is informed or ethical hacker, they penetrate your system. So ethical hacker are the guys, they are the computer professional like you students, and with the permission of owner, they perform the testing and inform the owner that these are the weaknesses in your system. Then the owner of that particular application will prepare a patches, release the patch or pack, and the end user will just install it. If the some machine are unpatched, then they may be easily hacked. So that is the basic concept of vulnerabilities. Weaknesses are there, and weaknesses are not only there, they're publicly available. So before launching an attack onto particular type of application or product, they have to know. So information is very vital in security. More information, more serious attack. If they are able to know that your ATM in your particular bank is using Microsoft and it contains the codec library, and if this information is disclosed, then attacker may execute the remote code. So if you are using Google Android, then they may be exploit multiple vulnerabilities which are mentioning in this. We will discuss more about this in detail. So this is all about the various weakness or vulnerabilities into your system. Okay, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So these are the vulnerabilities which are publicly available. So you can, if you release the product, you can not say, sir, this is not vulnerability, because the attackers or penetration, they are continuously checking. Even Google is also performing the surveillance. If you develop any website or web application product which contains some vulnerable code, and after some time Google will block it and put it, this site may be hacked, and that also defame your reputation of your organization. Clear that vulnerabilities are the flaw or weakness or lacuna in your system. So anything that offer a potential avenue of attack against a system is called the vulnerability. So we are discussing the vulnerabilities in our web application. Poor way of writing the code. Say code is vulnerable. Some code, they are allowed to execute the code. They are allowed to add the code into your application. So many times it was happen in the early time, the Facebook was vulnerable. It is asking to upload your photograph. If instead of photograph, some particular, say, malicious guys try to put their program onto the Facebook through the photo section, it allowed. Incorrectly configure the system means the setting of your file, setting of your DHCP server, setting of your firewall, setting of your routers are not properly done. So many times the password are so weak, password are public available, default password are not changed, and that the attack is possible. So for the maintenance purpose, the list of passwords are available, and so many times it was happen that the particular user or the programmer never changed the default password. So in our case, I was involved in the one consultancy where they are developing with the Drupal, and after the deployment of the website, I asked that I want to test the internal module what are the login and password of the particular website, and the particular programmer sets a login is admin and password is password. The default password they never check. So attacker will try to use the technology and through the footprinting, means which type of technology is used in this particular services, and then first try to put the default passwords. It may happen sometime the default password are not changed and their lists are available. Say example, in particular organization, if they are able to know that particular organization X is using the particular type of Cisco router, their passwords are available. So the default list of passwords are available of Cisco for the maintenance and deployment purpose, and they can get this information from here. This is another very interesting. We know there is a one DNS, which is called the domain name system. The user enters the URL and URL is converted into the IP address. The IP address may be the address of your website, or IP address may be the MX entry, the address of your mail server. So the DNS farming is an attack where user browser is redirected to malicious website after a attacker corrupt DNS entry with illegitimate IP address for certain host name. So DNS farming can be done with the host file poisoning. Okay. So I will just show you, because due to some privacy issues, I am not attacking on any website for the even for the good intention. I am just showing the screenshot because the particular this class is going online and recording is also carried out. So I'm just showing you how is it possible. Okay. So say DNS farming. Very simple example you will find out. Can anybody from you tell me what is the problem with this website? I want the interactive session because so many things I want to share with you.
Address is showing Google, but the page is itself for Yahoo.
You are right. You're right. Website is Google and web page is Yahoo. This is called the DNS farming. So this is the Google address, and so many times you will find out that some values are transferred here from question mark. This value is here called the query string. This value we call as a query string. So this is another way of vulnerability. So many times what the attacker does, this is use the HTTP hypertext transfer protocol, which is a stateless protocol, and enter some code onto there. And this code may be executed. We are not discussing this portion. This portion I will discuss later. Okay. So because here the query string options are available, so I am just showing you. So how we will do that? This exercise here, this vulnerabilities is called the DNS farming because this information are available in your text file. So for that, first we have to find what is the IP address of running Yahoo. So there is a one command that is called ping command, packet interchange gopher command, and www.yahoo.com. And here, once we find that, will give you the certain echo send and echo reply, and we will get the IP address of Yahoo is 87.248.113.14. And it also gives the TTL values. So many values are there. If you want to detect the which type of operating system are running onto the Yahoo, then this value is important. So information is very vital when you run the program. So here you will find that IP address is 87.248.113.14. And from this IP address, what you will do, there is a simple mismapping. So there is a one file in Windows System 32 driver etc host. So this is the path of your file. This is a simple text file. You open this file and make the changes here. That is called www.google.co.in, and you put the IP address of Yahoo. So if somebody try to open a google.com, the website will be redirected to Yahoo page. So similar type of experiment can be conducted. Sometime in the early time when we do not have the network facility in the remote location, various website is hosted and their IP address will put in. So this way, this is a text file. If this file or this mapping in your DHCP or router or some DNS server, this is manipulated, then it may be possible that attack may be launched and website will be redirected to some other location. So this is a simple way through which the website is redirected to the other location. There are so many ways through which the website control can be redirected to some other location. This is the one in which the DNS host entry can be manipulated. Sometime for the speed up, or say example, you are accessing Facebook more frequently, and this information for the improve the performance can be put into the cache of your browser cache, your server cache, proxy cache, and these recently web pages which are frequently accessed to improve the performance are put it into the cache. If these cache are manipulated, then website is also redirected to the some other location. This concept is called cache poisoning. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the concept of simple DNS vulnerabilities. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Day, Arthur Day. Now we discuss what is the web application. So software that run onto the web browser. So some micro browser, normal browser, open source browsers are there, and access over a network within organization is the internet. Similar type of attack may be launched by the insiders outside this zone, which is called the internet, and involve the integration of numerous technologies. So various technologies are involved through which the attack is possible. So now we discuss the one by one various type of weakness and vulnerabilities that may be exploited. So we know these are the some summarizations of. So here you will find out the particular basic concept. Here we have browsers. So we will discuss some of the attack onto the client browsers. Attack onto the databases. We have already discussed the attack onto your SQL injection, where the SQL string is manipulated and we will get the information. Then this is the attack onto your web application server. Web application server may be Tomcat, Apache, Internet Information Server, and HTTP attack during the communication. So one of the important thing in the application vulnerabilities is to disclose the information, which is also called the passive attack. Is gathering the information like which type of database are used, whether this Oracle is used, Sybase is used, MySQL is used, or MS is used. Which type of server is used, whether the open source server like Apache used, or Tomcat is used, or the particular Microsoft Internet Information Server are used. Which type of protocols are used, what type of ports are open, what type of service are running. So this is called the passive attack. So the vulnerabilities are detected by the knowing the technologies. Once you are aware about the technology, then you can find what are the latest vulnerabilities or weakness in this technology and launch the attack. That is the basic concept of launching an attack onto the system. So when we talk about the web application vulnerabilities, in computer security, vulnerabilities are the weakness which allow an attacker to reduce a system information assurance. And say no language can prevent insecure code. Means if you are saying, sir, I am using Java, I am secure, I am using Oracle, so no SQL injection will be conducted, because these vulnerabilities, the weakness are the lacuna in the programming, the mistake from the end user, poor configuration from network administrator. These are some human errors, or not following the standard guideline provided by the various consortiums. So this is not the problem of technology. Sometimes it may be problem, but most of the time these are the some vulnerabilities and weakness due to the poor configuration, poor way of writing the code, poor installation of the particular software, okay, and poor logic. So now we discuss the basic concept of software and securities. So generally the people are more interested to the functionality or the services. More functionality, more vulnerabilities. So association risk is a derived or secondary concern. So there should be a trade-off between these two. And a security achievement is hard to evaluate when nothing bad happens. Okay, they say, sir, our software is very limited with this our organization. We have particular small number of users. So it was not happen, but it may possible sometime the vulnerabilities may be exploited. I will give you the basic concept of security concept by vulnerabilities, countermeasure, attack, threat, risk, assets, and availability of the usefulness by taking one example. This picture is visible properly?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay. So now you will find out there are some component in this. So we have owner is there. For example, I'm taking very simple example. IRCTC is the owner, or Indian Railway.government.in is the owner. And this owner has certain assets. What are the assets? Assets may be the customer who are registered in the IRCTC website, the particular vacant seat in the train, the money collected by booking the ticket, number of ticket booked, cancellation of the ticket, refund of the ticket. So IRCTC provide these services, upgradation facility from one class to the other class, clear the waiting list. So these are the some assets which owner have, and they provide the availability and usefulness. Means first thing, these services of IRCTC are available 24/7/360, and they are useful. Now this mobile-based application is IRCTC Connect is there. So by the simple interface, they are able to book. And they want this should be maximized. Maximum time your website will be available. It does not look like in a peak hours, the particular user is booking the ticket or customer is booking the ticket and his payment is failed. These seats are released and he's not able to book it. Okay. So various attacks are possible onto this asset. So there are certain risks. What are the risks? That payment may be failed. It was happened that for the brokers, the particular Tatkal ticket was available from 8. For the time tampering will be done, was done, and they will get the start the booking 15 minutes before, and all the tickets are booked and not available for normal public. So various risks are there. Sometimes payment may be failure. And when they are trying to cancel the ticket before departure of the particular train, and it may be possible that cancellation is not carried out. So they may find some countermeasure for that. So attacker will give some threats. They will exploit some weakness. Weakness are too many traffic. So the database of railway reservation is not able to handle it in the peak hours. And that will lead to the risks. The website is not working. So it is say hanged. Server is down. So many things in the when you go to the ticket window, they say, okay, sir, server is down. We are not able to conduct the booking. So IRCTC owner, some assets they have, they want to available these resources 24/7, and these services should be useful. So this is the main concept that they want to use. But they have some countermeasure to handle these weakness or vulnerabilities. What are the countermeasures? Countermeasures may be technical, or countermeasure may be the policy-based set of rules. Countermeasures, they can policy-based. See example, for ticket booking, for the AC class, they have different slot. And for sleeper class, they have different slots. So the particular traffic is bifurcated. Another type of countermeasures is, say, a person can only book 5 tickets in a month, or 6 tickets in a month. During the particular, say, peak hours, he can only book 1 ticket to and from, not more than 1 ticket. Then technical, you will find out if too much traffics are there, then they have the CAPTCHA. So CAPTCHA is entering the particular text or some images are clicked, and it check whether the end user is a particular person or robot. So countermeasures are there. You will find out that during the peak hours, your countermeasures is that your CAPTCHA is more complicated. So more complicated CAPTCHAs are there, which are very tricky. So you are not able to distinguish whether this is the 0 or O, where this is the particular type of, say, distortion is there. So this type of countermeasures are take place. Sometimes more number of users, they will not allow to enter into this. So this is a total security concept where the owner is there, some assets are there, some risks are associated. Risks are also the acceptable or non-acceptable. Say, example, you are not getting the printout, but your ticket is generated in the PDF. Okay. So somebody is requested that repeat this particular concept. So I am just repeating it. Very simple. Owner is there. IRCTC is the owner. Some railway related assets are there. These assets have certain risks, like your payment may be failed, your ticket was not properly cancelled, and due to the some threat, the brokers or in the normally dalal or the particular agent are able to book the ticket before the starting of their time, and we have certain countermeasures that separate time for booking the ticket. Say example, for AC we have different time, or for the normal we have different time. Say example, from 10 to 11 we have the booking for AC, or 11:30 to 12:30 we have booking for sleeper. Then we have other measures like the number of ticket booked in a month, number of ticket booked within a particular duration where the Tatkal booking are allowed, and so many things are there. For one IP you can book only one ticket. Is it clear? Somebody has requested to repeat it. Is it okay? If you have
Yes,
query,
sir.
you can ask.
স্যার ধরো আমার সাউন্ডটা বন্ধ হয়ে গেছে ধরো
Sir, is it okay?
স্যার আমি লিখে নিই নাও ওয়ান স্টেপটা
Hello.
நாங்க நாகவேந்தன் தான் ஃபோன் பண்ணோம்
David sir, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
அவரு வந்து என்ன பண்றாருன்னே தெரியல ஆனா அவர் டெய்லி பேசிட்டு
Request all the participants to mute. Please mute your microphones. Request all the participants to kindly put your microphones on mute mode.
அது உண்மைதான் சார் அவர் எடுத்த கையில அன்மியூட் பண்ணிட்டு வந்து கேட்கறாரு டைம்
Please tell me, sir.
Is it okay? I'm not getting response from your end.
No, sir. It's okay, sir. It's okay.
Okay. Just I'm asking. Nobody is responding that time.
எல்லாரும் சமைக்கும் இதுதான் சார் இப்ப போராட்டம் போயிட்டு
Okay.
மாதிரி போகக்கூடாதுன்னு ஒரு கேங்
So should I move? So now, sometime it may possible that countermeasure can also be. Very simple example, in our organization, we have the State Bank of India facility online, SBI online, and it has the certain measures, so countermeasures, that nobody is allowed to enter the wrong password or wrong credential more than 3 times. If they will enter it more than 3 times, then your services may be disabled, intentionally or unintentionally. So in our organization, we have more than 7,000 stakeholders. If any one of them is due to the mistake or he forget their particular credential information and entered the information, then it may be possible that the website will not work. So we have requested and aware about these issues. So sometime more functionality or will be added. And
அவங்க அனுப்பி விட்டாங்க இது ஒரு group.
okay, I got a message that too much noise from the
Please.
participant.
Participants, please put
Okay.
your microphones on.
So please mute your mic.
அது வந்து புளிங்கோ வண்டி சார்
Now is it
Mr.
okay?
Munna Kumar, please put your microphone on mute mode, please.
Today, I am audible.
சாமி அதை பத்தி
You unmute your mic and just
You are
respond.
audible. You are audible.
அவர் பேர்
What happening? Because I am not getting any voice.
ராமநாதபுரஸ்காரங்க யாரும் என் சொந்தக்காரங்க கேட்டாங்க விசாரித்த கிராமம் இப்படி உங்களுக்கு தெரியுமா
Mr. Arjit is saying too much noise is there.
I've muted all, sir.
David sir,
Sir, I have muted all. Sir, I have put
Hello?
everybody on mute. Sir, I have put everybody on mute.
Now is it okay?
Yes, sir. Now
Okay.
it is okay, sir.
Good. So now we discuss the concept of code injection attack that is carried out by suspicious user via entering the vulnerable code into the input control of web form or address bar of a web browser. So two ways there, you can pass through the query string and inject the code. This is another vulnerabilities, and you believe 78% of websites are still vulnerable due to this vulnerabilities. So very simple example I have already demonstrated, a SQL injection attack. A SQL injection attack involves placing a SQL statement in the user input and text string. And vulnerable code that when they are entered, they will manipulate it and gather the information. So say example, here I'm entering some valued information, getting the normal result. If we put 17 or 1 equal to 1, that will fetches. So how is it possible? So what is the vulnerable code and what is the safe code? So the vulnerable code, what happened? We are using HTTP GET method. This ID is supplied directly here, and without the sanitizing or without the checking, it is transmitting to this user ID. I'm getting so many messages from the participant. What happening there? I don't know. If it is required, then only send the messages, okay, during the class. This is the safe code. What happened here? We are using the 3-safe function for the SQL injection attack. String splash, MySQL strings, and get ID. So when these strings are put and filtered here, then the SQL strings will be filtered and attack is not possible. So there is a one tool called Daemon Web Application Vulnerable. That is the open source tool. In the legal environment, it allows to execute this particular type of vulnerabilities. You can download this tool and install into your Apache server, and you run this for your experiences. So what is the difference? If you put the security high, it is not possible. So this 3 statement, before passing this string, it will be filter out. And here it is directly entered it. Then another one is blind SQL injection. That is the advanced version of SQL injection. Instead of manipulating, there are some errors are generated. And based on those errors, some tricky queries are there. And you want to say which type of operating system or which type of database are running onto the target machine. So that is used for the database fingerprinting. So what actually the database fingerprinting? In a database fingerprinting, we find simple examples. Say example, each database has their own way of handling the request. Say example, blind SQL injection. In a blind SQL injection, the versions are there, MySQL versions are there, Postgres versions are there, Oracle versions are there. So we are able to find certain version information. Say example, this is the example of string concatenation, means adding the 2 string. In MySQL, we use AA. In the MS SQL, in MySQL, we use concatenate A, or in Oracle, we use A pipeline operator and A. If you run this query, A pipeline operator and A, and it is executed successfully, that means the target machine is Oracle. Then you have to find certain queries and certain vulnerabilities of the Oracle product and launch the attack. Very simple example, if this is executed successfully, that means target machine is MS SQL. So these type of queries are executed and determine which type of target machines are using. Say example, if you want to know how many columns are, so before launching the attack onto the databases, you should aware about the internal structure. How many columns are there? Say example, you want to know by firing the queries, how many columns. So what you will do, say example, you will write select star. You want to know whether there is 1 column in a table, or whether there is a 2 column is there, whether there is a 3 column, or whether there is a 4 column in a table. So you will fetch a query, select star from imply order by 1. So that will arrange your database according to the first column. If it is succeed, that means your table have 1 column. Then you will write select star from imply order by 2, means it has 2 columns if it is succeed. Then you will put select star from employee order by 3. So employee code order by 3. So then it is executed. If you will write select star from employee order by employee number 4, then if it is giving the error, that means your table have only 3 columns. So this is a tricky way by which you are writing the queries and getting the result. So this is a simple way through which we are able to find the queries, fetch the queries, and get the result. Very simple example. Say example, here we can put the database name to query. So it will give the database name is MNIT. Here it is showing your other information like your schemas, table names are there. Here the root username. So we are putting what are the users are there. So this is the passive attack where we are gathering the data by putting the query. So this is user. So it will display the user information. And in the Oracle, if you will put W1 first record will be fetched and AA concatenate AA, the following comparison will be used. So in Oracle, if it will be succeed, that means your system is Oracle. So in this way, you are able to find the various queries and interact with it and gather it. So various symptoms of databases you will identify and fetch the queries. So identify injectable parameter, perform the which type of databases. If the particular type of say operator which are only permissible in a database, you will allow. If it executed, that will fine. Determine the database scheme. How many tables are there? In the MySQL, we have information schema is here through which you are getting the information. Or 1 equal to 1. Perform denial of services from remote. If you are able to run the shutdown command, your server will down, database will down, and whole spell. Then bypassing the authentications like select star from employee where username equal to X, password equal to Y, or 1 equal to 1. We know that X is not available in the database, Y is not available in the table, but 1 equal to 1 is true. That will fetch your system. Then remote command is there. Some privileges are there, horizontal privileges, vertical privileges, which are also escalated. So what are the particular way? If you will say that my table name is India 123, next time he may put drop table product information. So the information is very vital. If somebody will put the information in such a way that will harm your system is very difficult. So depending on the knowledge team, the database may be deleted. Some debug coding or errors are also important source of vulnerabilities. I will discuss with one example, and through this we are able to get this. So what are the defense? Scale the query for undesirable word combination that indicate SQL statement. Limit the database privileges as Oracle did. Create an user group. Never connect as an administrator and use the view. So view are the logical views, not work onto the base tables. Now we discuss the attack onto the browsers. So that is the attack on browser. And this attack is more prevalent than SQL injection because it does not require access to the backend. So if you want to access to the backend, you need some credential before the connection. But this is executed onto the browser. So I'll just show you some of the example first. Okay. So example, we are here. And first we check whether this website is vulnerable. So it is asking for data that enter your PNR number, enter your roll number, and I am entering some script. So this script says, hello. It is like message box. You will find out here, script hello. So this indicate hello message will be displayed. If this message is displayed, this is the starting of script, this is ending of script. So it will say hello message is displayed means website is vulnerable. So we use it, and when you submit the data here, this is executed. This is executed. Host is saying hello means website is vulnerable. This means it is executing the some code. So this is also vulnerabilities means website is accepting some code. So they are vulnerable to the particular type of code. So this website is vulnerable and accepting some code onto this. So this will clear you the picture that website is vulnerable and it is accepting some code. Now we add the document.location. It is very similar to your go-to statement. Now, in the previous example, what we did, we have used the DNS farming in which the IP address are mapped to redirect it to some other website. Here we are using the document.location. What we do, we will write it, and here I will put the command document.location. So website will be moved to this page, hacking zone. When I submit it, you'll find out the website will be redirected to the other location, and that is called the hack zone. So where website will be redirected to some other zone by document.location. So we know that HTTP is a stateless protocol. It does not know whether you are coming first time or so. By this using, we are able to find and enter into your system. So this is an attack on browser. So attack onto the databases, and here the attack onto the browsers are there. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Please respond from the
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
candidate side. I need one respond. Is it okay? Fine. Thank you. Because for this online teaching, it is very difficult. We should ensure that the particular participant are getting this concept or not. So this is a two type of attack this is possible. One is non-persistence, means we are reflected and running at the runtime that I did it. I inject the code and it is reflected. Just please repeat what you asked. Just write down again. Some queries are flashed onto my screen. So two type of, if you have, you can ask me at the end of session, okay? Yes, it is a 3-tier system. So 3-tier system, and the attack may also possible onto the end tiers. For example, Kerberos are using, forensic server are using, digital signature are using, various layers are there, but it is a 3-tier. You are absolutely right. So the attack may be non-persistence, means they are attacked at the runtime. That is called the reflected non-persistence attack, which needing a delivery method, and persistent attack which are stored onto the databases. What happened? They are the, say example, this is the simple script alert hello. We have entered, this is a reflected attack. And persistent attack, when some guest book is there, some comment books are there, we are put it and they are stored into your databases. So the date and time will be fixed in such a way these information are stored into your database, and later these are fetched from the databases. And this information are fetched and attack onto the system. If you will say, we will not allow to store any information onto the databases, but again, the problem is that this information are stored because some of the web content software like Joomla, Drupal, they are based on the content are stored or coding are stored into your databases. And even you develop a simple URL or simple MRQ, all information are stored into your databases. Another way we will discuss the HTTP is a stateless protocol. So what are the solutions? They maintain the cookies, and session is a lasting connection between user and agent. And these sessions are stored in form, URL or cookies. Cookies are small programs, and these sessions are hijacked. And now these days, what is session hijacking? The particular connection is information. If say Gmail session is hijacked, any other person can use your Gmail account from their mobile. If the shopping session is hijacked, it may be possible that your friend or some other person is buying some items and their bill may be added to your. So, and mobile is more vulnerable because here the session is always on. So what the session hijacking, you will get sometime a very interesting URL. And when you click onto this URL, the sessions are hijacked and information are bypassed. So I will give you the one session hijacking scenario. Say example, one innocent girl is here. She wants searching some information, and she found some information, and attacker will post a particular, say, vulnerable information, which is not actually the data who is claiming. Say example, free tour of Singapore for a NIT student, or solution of a particular question paper, solution of a book exercise. And when she find out, she click it, and then her session will be hacked. Say example, this is the code. If the persons who are very comfortable in the code, they will find that code is look like that. Document.location, website of the attacker IP. This is the attacker IP, and this plus documents. All the cookies which are stored will be redirected through the question mark by the get method. So what he will put on href on mouse over attack. This function is called. This function is called when he or she click onto the mouse. So the question is there, solution of Mac layer is available for the download. And when they click this particular information, the website will be redirected, and this information are passed to this way. So I will just show you the screenshots for that. This code is crafted by the attacker, and he will get a particular post. These are some scenarios which are you develop for the learning purpose, okay, on the legal environment. So computer network, solution of back layer, posted by some person. When the victim, she click it, this is not actually the posting, which contains some in the background, some harmful code, some script kiddie code, which will redirected her session if they are involved in some important activities will be moved. So once we click onto that, the session will be hijacked, and the website. So you several times you will find out that is called the query string. So query string is a way of passing the parameter through URL. So many times the values are passes, and this is a very important information, and session cookies are hijacked. So what are the defense? The defense for that, we use remove from the user input all characters that are meaningful in the scripting language. More generally, on the server side, your application must filter user input. So all the single code, double code, or other shells should be defined. Now these days, we are also having the regular expression. All of you learned the regular expression or context-free grammar of the theory of computation. So these grammars are constructed. Recently, one of our paper was published in which we developed the cross-site scripting grammar, or through the context-free grammar is developed for the cross-site scripting and embedded into the browser. So when the attack launch, they will be checked through the browsers. And regular expressions are also be built. So the other, your discipline like your theory of computation or compiler design will also be very important in the field of security. Now the third type of injection that we will discuss, which is an attack onto the middle tier. Middle tier means attacker is very familiar with that, and he write a one script of your operating system command, OS, that is called the OS injection, cell injection, some logic is put it and attack onto the server. That is attack, not attack onto the browser. It is not the attack onto the databases, but it is an attack onto the your application server. So application server functionality is exploited. So how they will do that? So for that, say example, Facebook was hacked. Facebook in early time is asking for enter your photograph, and instead of photograph, he entered this code. This is code, simple code. What it does? Starting of PHP, ending of PHP, run a one loop, and H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and create the 5000 folder onto the target machine. So target machines are flooded with the various number of folders, bogus folders. The bogus folders are created in this way, and you will find how it is possible. So once you will find what are the vulnerabilities, so this first vulnerability, it is allowed to inject this code onto the web server. So various vulnerabilities. So if in a Facebook, it is asking enter your or insert your photograph, he's inserting some code. So it will not check. Second, it is allowed 777, means all permissions are available. And these folders are created. So how you will defend these type of vulnerabilities? These are the particular operating system command, make directory functions, which are the shell command of operating system was run. So these are the folder are created. So many folders are created onto the target machines. So these are the vulnerabilities which are there. So what are the defense? So built-in library function are very good alternative for writing the OS command. Least privileges like the 777 should not be allowed. Third one is escape value added to the operating system command. So if you will use this command and pass the parameter escape cell.command, then this command will not execute. Only your code, what you are injecting, will be displayed. So this is the one measure to mitigate this vulnerabilities. If you are really interested in web application security or finding the vulnerabilities, their control and their measures, there is one website called Open Web Application Security Project, which is called OWASP. So it is an open community, not-profit organization, which is decided to fighting the fight against the cause of insecurity. In 2007, it ranked top 10 vulnerabilities, top 10. So that time, Sql injection was on top. Now these days, session hijacking is there. In 2015 or 17, they also released some IoT-related vulnerabilities, weakness, their controls are there. So if you are very much interested in this field, you will go there and search this project information, Open Web Application Security Project. That is the one of the consortium which are working in this application security field. Now we discuss some other information related topic, the footprinting. Footprinting is a technique of gathering the information about computer system and the entry they belong to. Means which type of operating system running onto the target machine, whether it is a Linux operating system or it is a Windows operating system, what type of database are running onto the target machine, whether it is a Oracle or whether it is a Sybase or whether it is a MySQL, which type of FTP they are running. So in computer jargon, the process of finding information on computer network is called the footprinting. That is the example of basic. So vulnerabilities, if the particular machine is disclosing the vulnerability, showing their technology, it is also a major vulnerability. The more information, the better attack. If you have so many information, too much information are there, more serious attack may be launched onto your system. Is it okay? This screen is visible?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay. So Mr. Day, thank you very much. So here, this is a live example. Sometime, so in the security say, do not disclose the information. Normal scenario, अगर हम सब चीजें बता देंगे, if we will explain so many things, what is our bank detail, when we leave our house, what is our ATM number, what is our ATM PIN number. So that also the particular person may steal the information. Similar here, we do not disclose or share. So exception handling is not good for the particular security. Error is also a very important source of vulnerability detection. For example, here you will find out this is the CSAB website, Common Seat Allotment Board used for JEE counseling. When we are taking the printout, that time we are facing a problem that we will get the error message, and here we will get the rankslip.jsp. This error indicate rankslink.jsp that indicate your target machine having the Java servlet. And it is also showing here Apache Tomcat 7.0.39. So the particular end user is able to know which type of web servers is running onto the target machine. So by knowing this, they are able to handle it and attack, perform the attack onto your system. So Apache Tomcat 7.039 is the server name. Here, again the port number is like Windows where various services are running. Railway is saying that their port number is 9034. So this type of vulnerabilities are there. And once your system are under attack, there is one database and protocol which is called the WHOIS protocol. So WHOIS protocol give you the information about your technical detail, and as well as it will also give you the information about the personal detail. Like mnit.ac.in is our website. Who is the owner of website? What is the IP address? What is the DNS address? What is the fax number of the particular person? From which email this website is run? And if the particular machine is involved, then where the attack is launched, we want to contact them, then WHOIS query will play a very important role. So what happened here, you will find out in the WHOIS query. So we will find out here, the details are there. So WHOIS query will provide the information like our institute name, our mobile number, our landline number, fax number, address is there, my address is there. So this information there, how we will use, I will just explain you with one example. So say example, somebody had sent you or threatened you the particular through the mail, and you will get the fake mail. So many vulnerabilities are there, like SMTP vulnerabilities, which is called Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, which have the authentication vulnerabilities. Like you're in post office, when you drop your card into the letter box, it will not ask whether you are a person X or Y. For example, if somebody was entered and say from Sachin Tendulkar to the X person, you are invited for dinner, you will get the message. Similar here, SMTP protocol, which are used for sending an email, is suffer from that it is not having the authentic mechanism. So various way you can connect to the telnet or SMTP port, send a mail, fake email, or that is called email spoofing. Email spoofing means it is claiming that it was sent by X, but it is actually sent by some other person. So once this is one experiment, you can use pay some money and you can generate from anywspiller.com, or you can use a small script, or like the Microsoft Window component that is called the CDON, collaboration object for data object for NT server for sending an email. That is also the facility. If you want to send a bulk mail, okay, then say distribute your brochures, then you can use this particular facility. But if somebody will hack and inject your own parameter, that will be attacked. Say this is the example of anonymity, hiding your end user identity. Hiding the identity is sometimes legal, sometimes illegal. If you are threatening, that is illegal. If say a mother want to discuss the problem of her child, mental problem of her child to the doctor and don't want to disclose her identity, that is legal. So here you will get the message, and here you will find out the message is there that you are invited for a dinner in Taj Hotel. Like in postcard, there is a stamp is there. By scrutinizing the content of stamp, you are able to know from which post office it was traveled. Because from source to destination, it will move from one head office to the sub office, then particular local post office. So similar here, when you send an email through SMTP, it not only contains your message, it also contains your IP header. IP header is very similar to a stamp. And here is the function is called show original. So show original is here. When you click onto that show original, you will get the header of an email. Some technical issues is there. And these IP headers are there. So that will give you the picture from where this particular message are sending. It will not give you the address of attacker. It will give you the address of particular email server which is exploited to send this fake email. So then you need to make the chain of evidence. How you will do this? I will give you the one clear picture of this vulnerability. Say example, a girl or a victim, particular end user got an email about the threatening. What she does? She will open a header. So how she will open a header? In a Gmail, you will go there, and here in this options, show original, you click it and find the first IP address, which is the IP address of the source machine which are involved. And once she analyzes the email header, she will use the NS lookup through the email to get the website name. And say example, she will get the website name abc.com, and she will put the website name and will get the other detail like from which machine it was sent, what is their fax number, what is their mail address, what is their phone number, and others information. And then contact the particular server. If it is in India, that is good. Otherwise, she may launch the complaint in the cyber cell. And here, the web server, which is not the particular system, but it will say this particular fake email sent from by vulnerability, either by running the code or by using some of their services or connecting through the telnet. And she will scrutinize the log on particular day and time who is using services. And she find that particular time, the particular ISP provider is used it. So from that particular server, it was sent in. And say this is sent in from this server. And then ISP server will check it. And different logs are there. And from their different logs, you will find which type of particular cafe or person is involved. We know that if you want to use a cafe, you have to show your identity card, Aadhaar card. So they will put your entry. If you use the public Wi-Fi, you connect to the particular mobile. Okay. And then after that connections, she will find that this cafe is involved by scrutinizing the log of this data. And here, what he did, he will find out the particular entries through their Aadhaar card, mobile card, or address. This is a normal way through this SMTP vulnerabilities is here, through which whose database is connected to the server, then connected to the ISP server, and then connected to the particular cafe and catch this. So now these days, investigation is also very easily carried out by this one. The other way for detecting the operating system, each operating system has their own symptom. Certain ports are there. Based on this port, you are able to find which type of operating system is running. If say 137, 138, 139, and 443 operating system is there, that means your system is using the Microsoft operating system. So that is a way of carried out the footprinting. So I will just show you some of the websites which are very important for the security. Okay. So a good system is the system which need to do as defined in the specification. It work correctly if operated according to the specification. It fall gracefully in case of correct operation or input. It does not do more than specified. It does not leak the information. If it leaks the information, then information may be used. So these are some consortium like CERT, Indian CERT, Anti-Phishing Group, Web Application Security Vulnerabilities, Common Web Enumerations are there, OWASP vulnerabilities are there. So these are some vulnerabilities sites are there which are very helpful if you want to conduct the web application security related project. So these are some website, Common Web Enumeration, Anti-Phishing Work Group, Web Application Security Concern. This is the main website you can explore and get the information. Then our Indian government. Then this is another very important website, the latest development about for your, especially for your project, securityfocus.com. Pakistom is another very important website. Okay, so I will conclude and I will give you some time to ask the questions. So no language can prevent insecure code. Although there are language features which could add or hinder or security conscious developer, software should behave in a predictable manner despite unexpected input or user action. You cannot bound, okay, the user are not allowed to input the code. Okay, they can do. Each one has their own way of writing the program, the different flavor for exploring or using this application. And I will conclude with this particular, there is no patch for the careless. Okay. So these are the one tool if you want to work, that is called the Daemon Web Application Vulnerable Application Tool. You can explore this tool. It is very interesting one. You can configure it. Its videos are also available onto the net. So it will give you the flavor, what is the secure code and what is the safe code and what is the unsafe code. So you go there in the DVWA, set its category low, high or medium. If low is assigned, then attack are easily launched. Then you run the various commands are there, various attacks like Sql injection, file inclusion, upload, cross-site scripting, and show their code, where the defensive code and insecure code. So, for example, these codes that I have already explained, with this you can do with your own ones. So this is from my side, and I'm very happy, okay, to share with you my experience. So today we have covered the basic concept of what is vulnerabilities, what are the various type of vulnerabilities like Sql injection vulnerabilities, cross-site scripting vulnerabilities, shell injection vulnerabilities, DNS farming, and then the SMTP vulnerabilities, session hijacking vulnerabilities, and their countermeasures. And we have also discussed about the basic knowledge about the fingerprinting. Thank you all, and I will be very happy to answer the query if you have any. So there is so many, sir, how to become a cybersecurity expert. To become a cybersecurity expert, there is a certain knowledge is required. Okay, the basic knowledge of your operating system, basic knowledge of your computer network, programming, not the script style. Some deeper knowledge is required, and the troubleshooting mechanism, communication skills should be good. Okay, and yes, my all the recorded lectures will be there, and I will also share my PPT to this particular organizer. Okay. And who do we prevent from Sql injection? So I have already explained you there is a two-way for preventions, and simple you will enforce the safe coding. So safe coding through the Sql injection you can use. I will just show you how is it possible. So if you want to prevent, this is the simple some way you will not allow. You can develop a prevention for a regular expression that will take care of your messages, or you can have here, this is the string slash function, my SQL real escape string. So when you are getting your information from the form, you can put some safe function before they are sanitizing to the database. How computer drives get affected after being hacked? Yes, a very simple example is the we say the e-kidnapping. What they do, they will be encrypt your hard drive and ask for the money. So ransomware is one example where they exploit the one vulnerability where file is encrypted in the window environment when you share your files, and during the sharing of files, the particular files are encrypted. So what the attacker, they launched the attacks on in the 2016 and 15 and encrypted your hard disk and put your password and then ask for some money, and even all ATM has also affected it. Okay, so I think these are some questions. Yes, I will share my PPT. How can we secure database server and web server from all attacks? Full security or foolproof system is very difficult. The web services, you unnecessary disable the services that you are not frequently used. Do not show your technology. Do not allow the banner to show the errors. Errors should be properly controlled. For the database server, similar type of the particular mechanism should be there. The particular, that is called the database fingerprinting will not allow. Certain queries will not allow, especially for they are using or union. Okay. So thank you very much. And I'm really happy to share my knowledge and my experience with you. And it's my great pleasure to join you. Thank you very much. So nice of you all.